Minecraft 1.16 is arriving soon, and I have to say, I am really excited for it. Mojang is adding a ton of new features, such as mods like the Strider over there, the Hoglins, and the Piglins, and also new blocks such as the Lodestones and respawn anchors. Anyways, this update's giving the Nether a whole new look, and I am absolutely loving it. Without further ado, my name is QuadMC, and here are 20 building tips and tricks for Minecraft 1.16. Let's get started. Here I have a bunch of designs I've made, and I'm going to show you them today. The first one we have is a plum tree. It's a pretty common design made of ancient debris, or as I like to call it, Minecraft's most unnecessarily expensive plum tree, because this is one of the rarest blocks in the game. And you can see over here I made a few torches and like a bit of depth in the pathway, and I think this design looks really great if you have, for example, like flower pot coconuts, which you can do now because it doesn't have a hole in the bottom like it used to. I think it actually looks pretty great, and I like it a lot. Moving on to the next one. This next scene I have has a lot of different things in it, but the thing I'm trying to focus on are the basalt pillars that I made out of polished basalt blocks and lodestones that I have kind of holding up this little counter area. If you're doing a build with a kind of grayish color palette, I think this actually works really well with the overall kind of theme, and if you have the resources, I totally recommend it. Moving on to the next one. Here we are at number 3 with this little witch cauldron that I made using a charged respawn anchor and the warped plank blocks. Funny story, when I was actually building this one, I was clicking the glowstone to charge the respawn anchor, but it was fully charged, and then when I tried to place trapdoors down, I forgot to hold shift, and everything blew up right in my face. And if you drop down here, you can actually see the wreckage from where this exploded. It was annoying at the time, but when I look back on it, it's actually pretty funny. So moving on to the next one. Here for this next one on number 4, we have something that not many people would usually add to their builds. It's kind of a wasp's nest, but I know I wouldn't usually add this unless I was creating some sort of city build because wasps suck. But here it is. If you just add one piece of basalt, one block of basalt on a tree, it actually makes for a really convincing wasp nest. I know, again, not many people would probably use this, but hey, I'm just being creative. Ha ha ha. Here for this next one, we have a checkered floor design. Now, there are many ways to create a checkered floor, but I think this one looks the best using stone cutters, smithing tables I mean, and lodestones. I wouldn't recommend, for me at least, using this because the lodestones make a horrible noise when placed. Just listen. It hurts my ears just thinking about it. Also probably hurt my ears because I just heard it, but that's not important. Here we are at number 6. We have a netherite railing. A lot of people often use anvils as a kind of rail substitute thing, but if you add netherite blocks, it actually fits the theme of the anvil way better than iron does, because the iron block is usually kind of white-ish, but the anvil block is more gray. But the netherite actually really does fit that, and I think this looks really good, and you should totally do it if you have the resources. Moving on to the next one. Here we have number 7. I built this little castle because the thing I wanted to show you is that the Soulfire looks really great with a castle themed build. As you can see, the Soulfire looks really amazing, and all you have to do is just place flint and steel on a regular piece of soul sand or soul soil. I think this looks really great, complementing the stone brick and the spruce wood I used, and I recommend it if you have the resources to do it. Moving on to the next one. So I wanted to find a use for crying obsidian in this video, so I decided to create a kind of portal design where the crying obsidian is leaking out of the portal. It works a lot better than I expected it to, and while I was building it, I wasn't exactly sure if it will work, but I'm glad I kept doing it because it worked really well. Moving on to the next one. Here we are at number 9. As you can see, I built this, in my opinion, pretty nice wall here, because what I'm trying to showcase is this polished basalt wall trim that I used against the floor and the ceiling that isn't really there. I think this actually looks really great paired with the warped stripped warped stem walls. And if you add stone bricks, you can add depth to the windows without actually wrecking the vibe. I think this works really well in this scenario, and I like it a lot. Moving on to the next one, again. Number 10. Here we have this nice little house that I built to showcase this. I didn't decorate the inside or the back because I'm lazy, but whatever. What I'm trying to showcase here is a new feature that now shows item frames as entities, which basically means you can spawn them, you can get them invisibly. So as you can see right here, it looks like the apples are growing on the tree, but really it's just an invisible item frame. And I've also done that with the sword thingies on here, like usual. And I added a bit more, such as sticks and apples on the ground as well, and also make it look a bit more clean. I like the little house design, and I kind of want to show it, but that's pretty much it for number 10. Moving on to number 11. This next one is more of an extension of number 10, which basically shows the before and after of the item frame feature. Here we have what it looked like before with the item frames, and here's what it looked like after. As you can see, it does look quite a bit smoother. The only problem is that these little buttons or blocks or whatever, they don't actually fit around the torch because they're a bit set back into the wall, but I'm pretty sure that'll be fixed later. Moving on. Number 12. Here we have a shroom light lamp. It was a popular design using quartz pillars and a dragon egg to create a lamp, but the only problem with that is that it didn't actually light up. But now using shroom light and the dragon egg, then you can actually make one that does light up. I think it fits well with the warped wall, and I like the little design I made with the fireplace. It's a cozy little spot. Cozy. That's pretty much it. Moving on to the next one. For this one, I made a little makeshift nether to showcase this next little one, which is a new feature that you can see if you go into F3 mode. If you target anything Soulfire, it shows that it is a piglin repellent. So, if I go into survival mode right here, and go over here and spawn a bunch of piglins. Oh crap, okay, that failed. That didn't work out. It's because I had the crossbow, okay? The crimson wood and the purple blocks, especially the purple pillar and some end rods, really work well together, even though they're from entirely separate dimensions. The colors match way more than I thought they would, and the Soulfire also does for some strange reason. I don't know why. Moving on to the next one. Number 15. Using these pillars, using polished basalt, as well as warped trapdoors and warped doors, makes a really nice little effect. Number 16 is also the same. It's basically the same thing, except for the fact that I used crimson trapdoors and crimson doors instead of the previous warped ones. I think they both look good, except that the warped one looks a little bit better, but they both work really well for a nether themed build. Moving on to the number 17 is another checkered floor pattern. Using blast furnaces and blocks of netherite, you can create a grayish kind of pattern with your floor. I think the other one, using the smithing tables and the lodestones, looks a bit better, but I still like this one a lot. Moving on. Archery ranges are often a pretty popular build that people make in Minecraft, but with the new target block, you can actually make it look more like a target range. I've made this little archery range here. Quad MC's archery range, where you can practice hitting villagers. Hostile mobs. Nothing suspicious there. Gonna just try and do a bit of archery. I don't think I'm going to make this, but if I make this, I will be happy. I did not make that. The ancient debris block makes for a actually really good roof shingles. Of course, the top does look a little bit weird if you're looking down on it, but if you're standing, for example, like this, and you're not like flying around or something, you can see that it looks like shingles, and it does kind of complement the little build palette I did. Number 20. Here we have a chimney design using cobblestone, andesite, and basalt. Basalt has pretty much the same texture on the top as cobblestone, just with a little bit more contrast. So you can actually make it look like it has a sort of burnt cobblestone from the little chimney I have. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be notified for when I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.